Welcome to today's Electrical Distributor Lighthead Magazine online video show. This episode of the show is sponsored by Keystone Technologies. Go to KEYSTONETECH.com. Greg, go to KeystoneTech.com. What are you going to talk about Keystone today, Greg?
It's a great company with a lot of good innovative product. We've talked about it before, and what we really like about it is that they listen to what we have as needs, and because we talk to hundreds of thousands of customers on a daily basis, we being lighting distributors, and they listen to that and innovate it, their product accordingly.
I think they have the most SKUs when it comes to different options in terms of bypass, double-ended bypass, all the different LED tubes and retrofit kits. When it comes to retrofitting existing fluorescents to LED, I think Keystone's the best. What do you think?
I agree. I use a lot of their products.
We'd like to welcome Bill Attardi onto the Lighthead Magazine online video show. Say hi, Bill. How you doing?
I'm really Yogi Berra. I used to catch for the Yankees. I don't know if you remember that. You know what my favorite Yogi Berra is? I give my right arm to be ambidextrous. Think about that.
That's pretty good.
That's a typical, right?
You know, you kind of sound like him too. You know that?
I sound like Yogi.
Yeah, you kind of do.
I've been to his museum. It's really a treat. It really is. It's in Montclair, New Jersey, by the way.
Okay. Bill, where are we going with this lighting business right now? What would you say to the electrical and lighting distributors out there that are listening to this?
Yeah, I think they got to get ready because it's not about light anymore. It's just not about light anymore or illumination. We're moving from the traditional lighting business, and we're right now in the transition of the smart lighting business. Smart lighting, meaning that lighting is going through major dynamic change. We're going from incandescent and fluorescent and HID. Every single existing lighting source will be changed to LED or electronic light source over the next 10, 15 years. They say by 2025, 98% of all lighting will be manufactured in the electronic area, not in the traditional area. So that means smart lighting is where we are now. That we're looking at different uses of lighting, whether it be horticulture, whether it be schools, hospitals, industrial, commercial, trying to get more productivity out of people, whether it's in the office or whether it's in a retail environment, getting more sales. Lighting is being used for that regard, and it's very easy to understand why the transition is taking place, because we couldn't do that as effectively before with the traditional light sources. But with the electronic light sources like LED and even induction to a certain degree, we can do a lot more.
Bill, how many years have you been in the lighting industry?
50 years.
Ooh,
can you believe
50
it?
years.
See,
that's a long haul.
Yogi Berra, I think after all, yeah, I started in 1965 and went to work with Westinghouse Lighting.
In all the years that you've been in the lighting industry, what do you feel is the most important idea or most important skill set to have for success in lighting?
You know, I think it's always the case with respect to any industry. I teach at Monmouth University, both undergraduate and graduate classes. And on every single exam that I give, I set the first question is always the focus of all marketing activities is, and I give them a multiple choice. And the answer, I put, profit, I put sales, it's always the customer. It's always the customer. That's the answer to that's where the focus has to be for any marketing activity. And any industry, any business, if they forget that, then they can't continue to succeed and make the kind of sales and profits necessary to be a thriving company. So if you focus on the customer, and you know something, I think every single customer out there, when they understand it, they don't want the traditional light sources in their building. They want the new technologies. They want not only smart lighting, but they want intelligent lighting in their system. They just don't understand it yet. So if you are a business, whether you're a distributor, you're
Bill,
a
I
rep,
don't understand it yet either.
I know. That's okay, Mike. We're in a transition. And transitions are messy. They're always, always messy because nobody knows what they're doing. And you know that old expression, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to do very well at it. Okay? And that's where we are today. Nobody knows really what they're doing. And but give it time. Transitions don't go on forever. Okay? Eventually, and it's the ones that do pick up on it, the ones that do reposition their businesses, the ones that understand it thoroughly and can bring that information and knowledge to their customer base. Now, all of a sudden, everyone is playing catch up, and before you know it, growth and maturity and businesses start to thrive.
You know, Yogi Berra
years-
said, Yogi Berra said, in theory, there is no difference between theory and practice. In practice, there is. Ha ha.
So,
bless you.
Bill, in
Yes.
the 50 years of lighting, how many transitions have you gone through?
Oh, that's a very, very good question. You know, I don't think we've gone through a transition. We've gone through a lot of evolutions. You know, it started out with the incandescent light bulb. And then I think Westinghouse came out with the fluorescent bulb back in the World's Fair back in the early 1900s. And it went from incandescent to fluorescent and then fluorescent to HID for street lighting and those kinds of things. So we've had a very steady, long, stodgy history of lighting evolutions, lighting improvements. And that's not what's happening now. Now, it's never been where every single CFL came the closest. Everyone thought that the CFL was going to completely wipe out the regular A-lamp incandescent bulb and take it. And it didn't do that. And the technology just wasn't there, wasn't powerful enough. And there were a lot of negatives with CFL. Still today, a lot of, you ask the customer and they'll tell you all the reasons they don't like CFL.
Sure.
Well, that's not happening today because every single light source commercially available today will be changed in the next 10, 15 years. In fact, as I said earlier, Europe has gone from 45 lumens per watt to 85 lumens per watt. You cannot, by 2020, make a light source that doesn't give you at least 85 lumens per watt. That's throughout Europe. And we'll follow that very, very quickly, I believe. Okay? That means we're going to eliminate, we never eliminated product before like we're doing today.
Yeah,
we are going to, the laws are saying you can't make incandescent. My whole lifetime, no one's ever come up and said you can't make this or you can't make that.
In the land of the free and the home of the
Says-
brave.
That's right. That's right. So LED is taking over. And whether you like it or not, whether you want to play the game or not, it's going to happen. Now you have to decide whether or not you want to develop the skill sets necessary to sell in this new game that we're going to play. Because the new game is coming. You got no choice.
You know, Bill, Greg and I and Nailed, we know how to train people in lighting. All the Nailed guys know how to do it. We have the training programs. I've had a lot of problems with millennials. How should businesses, do you have any ideas on how businesses like ours can approach millennials and get them to stick around longer than a year and a half?
Good question. I believe anyway that every company, whether you're a distributor, manufacturer, or rep, you got to start hiring some millennials. The reason being is they're adept at the social media communications activity. One of the courses I teach is about advertising, and we look at all the different medium. And every single medium category is declining except for the internet. TV, billboard, magazine, newspapers are going out of business. Every single medium is declining. And you got to follow the money. They're spending less money in those mediums, but they're spending more and more money in the internet. So if you understand the internet, fine. But there's no one that understands. I got a 10-year-old granddaughter that understands that medium better than I do, okay? Mm-hmm. The millennials are very adept at understanding that communication medium. And to me, much of what's good in any business is you got to be able to communicate effectively to your customer base, because the new innovations are there, but your customer base and many of your people in your own organization don't understand the new light sources that are coming forward. And if you don't understand it, first you got to do that. You got to get a better understanding of it. Millennials, they'll learn. They're very good at that. They're in the learning mode as most of them are right now. You're talking 20 to 30 years old. They're in the learning mode. And their biggest strength to me is the ability to communicate in today's world. And you need them to communicate to your customers the most effective way to upgrade their lighting facilities and to understand the new technologies that are in front of us.
Well, I think we can call that the TED Show. But, before we let you go here, Bill, I'm going to leave you with one piece of advice from our good friend Yogi Berra. When you come to a fork in the road, take it, my man.
And there's going to be a fork in the road. Let me tell you, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show, Bill.